Nothing beats the taste of homemade refried beans, but we don't always have the time to prepare them from scratch. So today I'm going to show you how you can prepare your favorite can of refried beans and make them taste just like if they were homemade with just a few simple ingredients. We're going to need 5 ounces of chorizo, 1/4 of an onion, 2 garlic cloves, and 2 jalapeños. The jalapeños are optional. You can leave those out if you don't want yours spicy. And 1 31-ounce can of your favorite refried beans. Heat up your pan over medium-high heat and melt 2 tablespoons of lard. You can also substitute the lard with bacon grease. Add the chorizo, break it down with a spoon, and cook for about 5 to 7 minutes over medium-high heat. You can also use a cooking oil of your choice, but if you're making refried beans, I highly recommend you use the bacon grease or the manteca because that's what's going to give your beans a lot of flavor. After 5 to 7 minutes, add the minced onion, garlic, and the jalapeños. Mix it in with the chorizo and saute for an additional 2 to 3 minutes or until the onion and the garlic are nice and fragrant. At this point, add the can of refried beans. You can also substitute the canned refried beans for regular homemade beans. This is just another option for those of you that don't have the time to prepare beans from scratch. And I know it's happened to me several times that you leave the house, you think you turn on the slow cooker, but it's not plugged in. Or if you accidentally burn the frijoles, you can prepare a can of refried beans and your family is going to think they're homemade. Once all the ingredients are mixed in with the beans, you can enjoy them just like this, but we're going to add 1.5 cups of water. This final step is what's going to give you that delicious homemade taste. You can also substitute the water with chicken broth to add more flavor. Mix in the water with the rest of the ingredients. Turn down the burner to low heat and simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes on very low heat. At this point, you can also taste it to see if it needs salt. Instead of salt, I added 1 tablespoon of tomato bouillon to add more flavor to the beans. Now we're going to give it one final stir and we're going to simmer until it reaches the consistency that you prefer. During the cooking process, make sure to check on it often and move it around often. The longer you simmer the beans, the thicker the consistency. Keep in mind that once your beans cool down, they will thicken up more. We're going to use the beans to prepare chimichangas, so we're going to wait for them to cool down before we begin to prepare them. To a preheated flour tortilla, add a spoonful of the beans. Add a few pieces of your favorite melting cheese. I'm using Monterey Jack. In order to keep the cheese in the middle of the chimichanga, I'm going to add a small spoonful of the beans over the cheese. Fold your chimichanga and place it on a separate plate. Spray the chimichangas with cooking spray or using a small basting brush. Brush each one with your favorite cooking oil. You can bake these in the oven at 400 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes or until they're nice and crispy. We're going to prepare them in the air fryer and we're going to set the timer for 12 minutes at 400 degrees. And now for the end result. These turned out amazing. And enjoy.